Levarme la moustache en la capucha. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki tacatiki. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Siento patanilo, mira tacatiki puletica. Sani levarme la moustache en la capucha.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and today we're going to talk about the loss of the Washington football team against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. A game that, in all honesty, I'm not really mad about this game because they actually did a lot in this game. They fought in this game. They played very hard in this game. Taylor was doing what Taylor wanted to do. At the end, it was just things, wrong time. Things happened at the wrong time, and on top of that, football gods was not on our side. I'm going to get into the keys so you guys can understand why I'm not as mad, why I'm not really mad at this game. They lost. The game was 24-10. But again, they didn't really. Even though it's a moral victory, it's something that I'm glad to see because for once you see the team actually have fight in them. So let's go to the first key. Key number one: stop the run. They did that. This defense today played very well. Landon Collins looks good playing down in the box. I hope he sees it. I hope when they show him the film, I hope he understands. He's no longer a safety. He is a linebacker. He played very good today, and I love the way he's playing down in that box. So key number one, they achieved it. They stopped the run. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon did nothing. They even had a fumble on A.J. Dillon. So to be quite honest, that they basically got that key done. Key number two, pressure Aaron Rodgers the whole game. They got pressure on Aaron Rodgers. They got a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is just another guy, but again, I told everybody, and I told y'all, when they go 5 wide and they bring in those tight ends, that every team has a problem with them with that, because we just don't have the personnel to match up to that. Because again, you're talking about when they go 5 wide, you saw Allen Lazard, he sat up there and had a pretty good game. Trunya, he had a good game. Mercedes Lewis had a fairly decent game. Again, like I said, we just don't have the personnel to match that, but we pressured Aaron Rodgers the whole game. You're talking about they only scored 24 points. I told you guys, this Green Bay isn't really the team that's going to blow you out. They're a team that you can fight with them and mess around and win the game just from fighting back with them. So, again, that's a key that was achieved. Key number 3, limit Devontae Adams' receptions and yards. They did that. You're talking about they took what is basically one of the best wide receivers in the game out of the game. Even though he came up with big plays, he had a touchdown, he had a big play down the sideline. Again, he had those big plays, but at the same time, they limited him in this game. He didn't have a lot of receptions. He didn't have a lot of yards. Again, the defense stepped up in that aspect. Number 4, don't get beat deep. In reality, they really didn't get beat deep. They didn't have like a 70-something yard touchdown that they gave up. There was one play, again, Allen Lazard. But again, you could tell Danny Johnson was just playing. His technique was wrong. So that's why, he gave up that touchdown. But again, they didn't get beat deep. They really didn't. There were a lot of plays where they got beat in the zone, playing a lot of zone. They got beat just from blown coverages and stuff like that, but they didn't get beat deep. So again, that's a key that they achieved. Key number 5, stay home when Aaron Rodgers scrambled. They gave up that one big play. They gave up 2 plays. So one was the scramble up the middle. Aaron Rodgers normally doesn't do that. He'll sit up there and he'll scramble around until he finds somebody open, but he actually ran up the middle, but they stopped that from happening. Then all of a sudden, he had to scramble to the sideline that ended up in Devontae Adams' touchdown. They pretty much stopped him. I'll give them half points for that, but they pretty much did stay home when Aaron Rodgers was scrambling. So it wasn't that bad, but there were plays again where the coverage was busted because Aaron Rodgers scrambled, and instead of them sticking with their man, they let their man go. Number 6, attack the middle of their defense. They did. I mean, again, they did what they could up the middle. I mean, it was times where, again, they were taking chances. They were running up the middle. They were catching the ball up the middle. They were doing a lot of things up the middle. And again, this is something that you can't get mad at them. They did that. Key number 7, take deep shots. They didn't take a lot of deep shots, but they took enough. One was the long bomb to Terry McLaurin, which has resulted in our only touchdown. But again, they did what they could with that. Key number 8, run the ball. They did that. Again, it was one where they actually ran the ball. They did a good job running the ball. They did a fantastic job running the ball. Again, key mistake. Antonio Gibson coughs up the ball. 3rd straight game where he's fumbled the ball. I think he's getting a little loose with the football. But to me, this is a sign of regression because, again, you're talking about 3 straight games in a row where he's fumbled the ball. And not only that, he fumbled it at a costly point as well in the red zone and gave up the ball. That was crazy. Number 9, let Taylor be Taylor. They did that. Again, all these keys are being achieved if you paid attention to the game. You never really felt like Washington was out of the game. Taylor went down there. He was running around. He was scrambling. He was doing everything he could. He threw a last-minute interception, very bad interception, but that was the only real mistake that he had the whole game. It was more, this is the first time we saw the offensive line play very terribly this year. They had a terrible game, and they did a lot. They had a lot of miscues on the offensive line. So, and I'm pretty sure people are going to watch it and see what I'm talking about. The offensive line had a ton of miscues, which is why Taylor was in the pocket getting touched so much. So that is something that was, but again, a key that was achieved. Number 10, blew it, don't blow it. He missed his first field goal, but it was blocked. But again, both teams had blocks, so that was kind of off. He didn't really get an opportunity to blow the game because Ron Rivera was actually going forward on 4th downs. I love the aggressive nature of that. I think that was a very good approach for this game. But as we go along, we're going to need to find out if Chris Blewett can actually be our kicker long term. He did make his second field goal, which was good. That gave us the 10 points. But again, like I said, it was a key that it was achieved. So they actually hit all the keys. The problem was that they had the turnovers at the wrong time. And that was what cost us. That's what ultimately cost us the game. They had a blown, again, like I said, Alan Lazard, that was a blown coverage. The fumble by Taylor Heineke. Again, the offensive line has had its worst game of the season. They had a lot of miscues. We have not seen this line have that many miscues this season, but for some reason in this game, they had a ton of miscues. They were missing blocks. They weren't quite ready when it came to the pass rush. We're starting to see why Charles Leno, he's not a fast tackle. Because again, we're seeing that speed rushers are getting around him. We're seeing that how Cornelius Lucas and Wes Schweitzer, their communication is a little off at times. This was the worst showing by the line we've seen today. Even Eric Flowers, who's normally a steady lineman, he didn't have a very good game. I mean, there was one play where he got clipped up, but he didn't have a really good game this game. So this was one that was lost because of the little costly mistakes towards the end. There was a play Taylor hit Terry McLaurin dead in the face with the ball, and he just didn't catch it for a touchdown. So you had the Taylor Heineke, the new rule where it's like giving his body up, but clearly he was diving for the end zone. So I mean, the fact that they're saying he gave his body up, I guess you can read it as that, but that was a wild one. This was a wild game. Missed out on some opportunities. I'm not mad at this game because, again, like I said, they basically hit all the keys. They actually hit all the keys, which is why I'm pretty sure all of us are feeling like they didn't really lose this game, but moral victories don't put anything on the board. So, again, we saw a lot of fight. We saw a lot of grit. We saw Taylor come back again. Taylor had one miscue. They had fumbles. Like I said, the fumble, that wasn't even his fault where he was trying to throw the ball, and Rashawn Gary slapped it out the back of his arm and stuff like that. You had Antonio Gibson and the fumble down in the red zone. How about that crazy stat where it was like, Green Bay was 15-15, like 15 possessions, 15 scores. We got down there and they basically shut the door on us. We were beaten by two former Washington football team coaches. Joe Burry actually looked like he know how to call defense now. Where the hell did this come from? And Matt LaFleur he looks like he's the next coming of Bill Walsh at times, but we'll see. But again, this was a game that I'm not really mad about. I will say this. Scott Turner is very inconsistent in his play calling. Like, it's almost like he doesn't really understand situational football sometimes, because he'll do stuff and it's like, well, why would you do that at that point? Like, again, here we are again when we had another situation where on first down he throws it, then on second down he runs it. Like, it made no sense, because it was like, you clearly see that we're running the ball, but at the same time we're not getting a bunch of yardage running the ball. So his inconsistency with his play calling is starting to really bother me a lot. I'm hoping that he gets better. I mean, he should already be better, but his lack of awareness of situational football when it comes to his play calling is starting to creep in more and more as we see. And to me, I feel that this is why Taylor needs to be Taylor more often than for them to try to stick him in the pocket and stuff like that. So, lost by the Washington football team to the Green Bay Packers, 24-10. On to Denver. We'll see if this grit and this fight is still in this team when they go to Denver next Sunday. And we'll definitely see how this goes. Again, like I said, I'm not really angry this game. They fought for once. They look like a defense that's supposed to be listed in the top 10. But we'll definitely see how this goes and stuff like that. Again, shocking thing, Washington met all the keys, lost because of costly turnovers, costly mistakes towards the end. Man, that was a tough one. Very good game, but that's a very tough one to lose. I thought they were going to pull off the upset. While I was watching the game, I thought they were going to pull off the upset. But as it started to go along, I saw it was over. But again, now on to Denver. This has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.